Hey YouTube, it's ACU, and today we're going to be unboxing the brand new 4th generation Apple TV. I have it with me here. It's not set to be released to the public until later in October, and if you guys want a chance to enter to win a brand new iPhone 6s, then just be sure to rate this video up and stick around to the end for complete instructions on how to enter. Alright, so I wanted to say before we get into this, huge shout out to Bradford Wolf. This was his developer kit initially. He was the one who hooked this up, and if you guys want, you can check out his channel. I will have it linked directly in the cards as well as on the screen now in annotation format. He's a really awesome guy, so be sure to subscribe to him. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. So on the front, we just have a picture of the Apple TV itself. Now the top simply says developer kit, and when we flip it around to the bottom, it cleverly says as not yet seen on TV. Whereas both sides simply appear blank. And flipping it over to the back, it simply has Apple's corporate address there. Let's take a look at the top part of it. So getting a close-up of that, again, this does confirm that it is a 4th generation Apple TV. It states Apple TV Dev Kit. And by the way, the developer kit as well as the as not yet seen on TV indicators at the top and bottom will definitely change prior to this product's public availability. All right, now let's get into the good stuff here. So using my knife, we're going to cut through the plastic wrap protecting this box. And now let's go ahead and simply remove it. All right, and here we go, the awesome Apple TV developer kit box. Now let's go ahead and lift the lid. If this is packaged anything like the regular Apple products that we're accustomed to here on the channel, we can expect the Apple TV to sit directly on the top. All right, and here we go, guys. This is the new Apple TV as well as the remote on the right-hand side. This is a Siri-based remote. It also has a touchpad up at the top. We're going to get into this in just a second. Let's take the Apple TV out first. So here we have the new next generation Apple TV hardware. Let's go ahead and take it out of the plastic wrap that's protecting it. And you can see when compared against the old generation, let's just go ahead and grab that right here, it is significantly taller. That is because this 4th gen has a significantly bigger heatsink, which can probably be attributed to the fact that we have a bump of an A8 processor powering this one. So overall though, the design is pretty much identical. We still have the Apple logo followed by TV, and of course the boxes are very, very similar here. I'm actually going to pull this off slowly now. This does protect the ports as well as the glossy plastic on all 4 sides. So let's go ahead and remove that completely, and we're going to get a close-up of this now. All right, so as you can see, we do have our AC power input there, our USB Type-C connector, as well as HDMI, and we have an Ethernet port too over on the right of all that, in case you don't want to be wireless and you want a wired connection on this guy for whatever reason that may be. All right, and setting the physical TV itself off to the side, as well as the previous gen, let's go ahead and return to the box here and take the remote out. So this remote is very cool. This is one of the new selling points of the Apple TV, of course, and its functionality. So as you can see, we have our menu button as well as the button to bring us fully back to the Apple TV screen right here. So the main menu, or the main screen rather. And we also have our button to activate Siri, play, pause, and volume up, volume down. But you can also use this touchpad here, and it actually clicks in as well. So let's go ahead and get a close-up of this here. This is actually a clickable touchpad. So as I'm clicking into it, you might be able to hear, and it will probably be picked up by the camera, we are actually receiving click input there. And we do have a microphone on the front as well as over here on the back. And this is an IR blaster. Now this is pretty interesting. This remote actually connects via Bluetooth. However, this IR blaster is used to actually control your TV with. So you can change the volume with this remote on your TV itself as well. And over on the bottom, we actually have a lightning port. Now this is pretty interesting. We can use this to charge the Apple TV remote itself. Now, Apple states that the charge is supposed to last quite some time, a few months actually. So you can just take your regular iPhone cable here and you can plug it into the wall, and of course you can plug the other end into the bottom of this remote here. So let's go ahead and try to do it on camera. As you can see, it connects like so, and you just plug the other end into your wall. And of course you can change this out if you live in another country with the wall adapter based on where you live. All right, and before we return to the box, I wanted to get into some of the materials used here on the remote because I was actually really curious when I saw this thing unveiled by Apple during their September media event. So on the top, we kind of have this matte finish and we have this glossy finish on the bottom. The front surface is actually glass. It doesn't really feel too much like glass on the top though. It's quite nice, and again, it does have that awesome tactile feedback when you push into it. Now on the back, this is metal, so this is a very high quality remote, and of course we do have that customary Apple logo directly in the middle. All right, let's go ahead and return to the box and see what else it comes packaged with. So in the middle here, let's go ahead and lift this up. We have this little bundle of info here, so let's go ahead and pull that out, and getting a close-up of it, it says with tvOS, you're going to change TV. It's just a basic quick start guide telling you to go to developer.apple.com/Apple TV to get started with tvOS. And then we have 2 Apple logo stickers, and we also have an important product information guide, which of course Apple does include with their products. And actually what's ironic is that there's really nothing too important listed here. Now, we also have this USB cable. This is a regular USB to USB Type-C cable. This probably will not come bundled with the version that will retail. This is for developers, and this is how you'll actually be able to update the Apple tvOS. And now beneath that, we also have a regular Apple Lightning to USB cable for charging the remote, just in case you didn't have one. And finally, over here on the right-hand side, lifting up the portion where the remote came in, this is probably the power cable. So yep, as you can see, you plug this end into the actual Apple TV itself, and you plug this other end into the wall outlet. So we're gonna go ahead and change views here, plug this guy in, and actually go through the setup process. So I'm gonna be right back. All right, so interestingly enough, after connecting the Apple TV to my actual TV using an HDMI cable and also plugging it in, this screen appears. So we have that USB cable on the back connected into the iTunes logo, and it says support.apple.com/Apple TV/restore. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. When I went to that URL, it basically said to restore the Apple TV using iTunes. So I tried that, didn't work, so I logged into my developer account, downloaded the latest Apple tvOS beta, and then actually restored it inside of iTunes by manually pointing it at that IPSW with the Option key on the Mac here. And then it put us here at this screen, basically telling us to pair the remote. So let's go ahead and get a close-up of this remote here, and we're just going to pair it, I believe, by just clicking on the button up at the top, and it's not doing, oh, there we go. So as you can see, now it's asking us to select our language. So all we have to do is just push in on it. We want English, we want the United States, and we're going to set up the device. So it's stating that we can actually use our iOS device to connect to the Apple ID as well as Wi-Fi settings automatically, and that it requires iOS 9.1 and that it will not work with the iPad 2. And after tapping on setup with device, it gives you these steps, and I actually tried to go through them. However, for whatever reason, it simply didn't work. So I do have my iPhone 6s here, and I am indeed running iOS 9.1. As you can see down below at the bottom, it confirms we're on 9.1 beta. This is the latest build here. So for whatever reason, it's not working with the iPhone 6s. Maybe it requires an older device since this one is so new to actually set it up, but we're going to go through the process manually here really quick. All right, here we are, guys, at the main screen. As you can see, it just finished loading. We went through the setup manually, and I can tell you it is very annoying to have to set this thing up by swiping up and down through all of the letters for your Wi-Fi password, your Apple ID, and your Apple ID password. It does take quite some time, so hopefully Apple will have everything finalized and all the kinks ironed out by the time this thing hits the shelves. So as you can see, just swiping through here, it's incredibly fluid and smooth. And actually, when we move our thumb around, you can see that the icon itself that we're specifically on at that point will also move and wiggle accordingly. So this looks very similar, although upgraded to the current menu and the current layout of the previous 3rd generation Apple TVs. So we basically have our movies up at the top, followed by TV shows, photos, as well as music and settings. And depending on which one of these you're on, the top section will actually change dynamically. So as you can see here, now we're on movies. We have some of the top movies at the time of recording this video. The same exact thing goes for TV shows. Now let's go ahead and try to invoke Siri and see what happens on the remote here. So as you can see, Siri's asking, what can I help you with? It said, sorry, I didn't get that. So let's go ahead and ask it for something. Show me Game of Thrones. All right, so it got it exactly there. I didn't think it was going to, but then it corrected itself. And here we are inside of the listing for Game of Thrones. You can see it states that we have 5 seasons, and it also states that they're available on iTunes as well as HBO Now. Now, we do have a little synopsis here that we can read through. We can just tap menu to return back there, and we can also see all of the episodes in season 5 right here. We can also see related. If we continue to scroll down, we go into a few other things as well, including ratings and reviews, cast members, some information, and accessibility details there. Now, we can go back all the way to the main screen just by hitting menu, or if we want to, let's go ahead and get a close-up of this remote here. What we can do is we can actually just push this button here, and it will go all the way back. So pushing it reveals that we're back at that home screen there. All right, guys, so already I'm absolutely loving this remote. It is amazing. The touch aspect of it is really perfect. Now, we will have the App Store on here. We don't have it yet. We do have Test Flight, however, as well as Search and Computers, but this is really it for the Apple TV Developer Kit right now. So launching up settings, you'll see we do have some additional information here. We can manage our accounts. We can go to General to set up some other things, but that's really all I wanted to cover in this unboxing and setup video for you guys. So this is the all-new Apple TV, the 4th generation. It isn't set to be released until October. We don't exactly know when, but it will likely be the end of the month. Now, I'm also going to be giving away a 4th generation Apple TV once this is released, so be sure to rate this video up, as well as click the subscribe button down below next to my channel name if you aren't already subscribed. If you want to win a brand new Apple TV once it's released, I am going to actually make that giveaway go live once the product is available to consumers. For now, if you're interested in winning a brand new iPhone 6s, the steps are very simple to enter. On your iOS device, just navigate to freeappsfast.com inside of mobile Safari and sign up. Once you do, you can download any of the sponsored apps you see here for points, but then what you need to do is actually navigate to the 4th tab, and you'll need your referral link. So as you can see, what appears after the equals symbol, then you need to go to this video here. I will have it linked in the cards as well as the annotations, and post the unique portion again after the equals symbol in the comments on that video. It doesn't matter what your comment is, so long as it contains that unique referral code, you will be good to go, and you will be eligible to win a brand new iPhone 6s. Now, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Again, I really hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed it. I really can't wait until this thing launches and until we also have the App Store. Stay tuned for subsequent videos on the new Apple TV, and if you guys want to be updated more often, such as when I release videos covering the device as well as other Apple products like the 6s or even the next untethered jailbreak, just be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.